What is up, guys? Talk here, and today I'm here with another Digimon card game video. Today is going to be kind of like a discussion video about the current trend of the Digimon card game and what we can kind of defer from it and how we can kind of see how the future of the game will be. This is obviously just my opinion and just a little bit of speculation, but I think it'll be a bit interesting to look at because, in my opinion, Digimon took quite a big break. The last set we got since Blast Ace was BT-14, which was in February. So it's been around 4 months, I guess 3 months if you're including the start decks, since we got a product. So Digimon has been in kind of like a really lulled state. So a lot of people are not playing the game at my locals. I guess it's a little bit different for English because you guys have been getting your sets. The sets that you guys haven't always been getting have always been kind of long, but for us Japanese players, it's always been pretty much every month or a month and a half that we got something new. So with all the new games coming out and all the new other products that Bandai has been releasing, like Union Arena and One Piece, I think a lot of the hype for this game has died down. But I think with BT-14, they are trying to soft reboot the game. By soft reboot, I just mean like kind of changing trends and whatnot. And one of the trends that I noticed is a lot of the SRs are not level 6s. So occasionally in the previous boosters, we've had cards that aren't like we had level 5s that are super rares and whatnot. But the trend for this set, there's actually no SRs that are level 6. All of them are either level 3 or level 5. So this is very interesting. And I don't know how this will affect the prices. I think if you're looking at, let's look at some of the cards. So this is the Agumon. Then the Agumon we're getting, it's an SR. And it has 2 skills, obviously a hair skill and the main skill. So sort of main phase, if you have a tamer with Kai, or with Tai, you can Digivolve into a Greymon without paying the cost. And then if this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon, its name, it gets 1000 power. So it's a pretty strong skill because you get a free evolve. So if you have a member setter on the field and you have this Agumon, you can pretty much go into your level 5 and then go into level 6, ending your turn, which is really, really big. So I think it is definitely worthy of an SR skill, and then the inherit skill is just the same as, similar to the book promo that we previously had. It just gives your Greymon 2000 power, but this one also buffs Omnimon as well, so it's a little bit stronger in that regard. So a little bit of power creep there. Next, let's look at the other Digimon, main Digimon. Where's the SRs? So we have the Middle Greymon Ace. So these being SRs, I think are pretty reasonable as well, because these are Ace, or not, no pun intended, but these are like the Ace Digimon for the main characters. And yeah, it makes sense because in the original, right now the sets are based off the original Digimon and like the 01 from like way back when, and most of the kids didn't get their mega forms. So, but how they're doing it is, since we got the trial decks, we got the Metal Garurumon and War Greymon, which are the only megas for the main characters in the original. And then all the other kids are getting the SR Aces for their ultimates, because in the original anime, they've only gone up to ultimates. So I think it's pretty interesting. And as you can see here, they all have counter. All the Ace cards have a counter, and they all do something a little bit disruptive on your opponent's side. So I think it's pretty good. Obviously, overflow is the downside, kind of the cost you have to pay in order to have a effect being played on your opponent's turn. So it's pretty interesting. Also, not all of the SRs are built equal. If you're looking at the other ones, they're all pretty good though. Like if you're looking at the Agumon as well. So in main phase, you can trash one of the Digivolution cards from your opponent's Digimon, and then that this Digimon cannot be blocked for the turn. The inherent skill is when this Digimon would be deleted, you can play a Gomamon from this card to the original source without paying its cost. So you can kind of start the loop over again. So I think it's not as good. Definitely not as good as the Agumon, but it's still okay. It's still okay. I think the Palmon is pretty good as well. The Palmon lets you rest one of your opponent's Digimon, which is pretty good. The Palmon, one of your opponent's Digimon gains all turns. What is? Oh, sorry. It gives the effect that when it rests, they lose 2 memory, which is pretty good because if they attack or anything, they will have to lose memory. Also, you can kind of manually do it. For example, if you have the Palmon and you Digivolve on top of something that rests your opponent Digimon, you will pretty much be Digivolving for free, which is similar to how the Agumon works. So I think the Palmon and the Agumon are a little bit better. When this Digimon would Digivolve, you can, if you have a green tamer, just reduce the cost. So further cost reduction, which is pretty good for green, because you can use it with the old stuff. Some of the old stuff, the Digivolution cost is 2, so you pretty much be Digivolving for 1, which is really, really strong. And with Blossomon being restricted to 1, I think that would definitely help the deck a lot. Let's also have a look at the Patamon. You can look at your security stack, and you may Digivolve into a vaccine trait without paying the cost. Then shuffle your security stack, and then if you do so, this one is a little bit. It's pretty good as well. This is also a pretty good effect, but it's a little more restrictive because there's a chance that you don't have a level 4 in your security stack, and that would be pretty bad. But overall, it's a pretty strong skill. Like, you can pretty much cheat another evolution, which is pretty much in line with the other 2 that we looked at before. And the inherent skill lets you, whenever you get a card added to your security stack, you get 1 memory. Typo there, but it's an okay effect. We also have a secret Angemon. So when hacking, when this Digimon, by deleting this Digimon, you can activate one of the following effects. So this is a little bit similar to the rune mode. Place one of your opponent's Digimon with virus trait to the bottom of opponent's security stack, or you can give something -1000. So obviously, you would rather shove a virus trait into the security stack more than giving a 5000 need deduction, because it's not a blanket one like the rune mode. And on deletion, you can place this card at the bottom of your security stack, and then if you have Tamer in play, you can hatch it to Digi-Egg. So this is a pretty strong effect, I think. Is it worth a secret slot? I don't know. We'll know in the future. Of course, more testing, but this is definitely interesting. And then on deletion, you can place one Digimon with vaccine trait from your hand to the bottom of your security stack, so it can kind of do a bit of recovery. So it's pretty good. What I'm trying to get to is we're not going to go over the Ace ones because we kind of went over them in the previous video talking about Ace Digimon. But what I mainly want to talk about is actually the level 3 SRs. So previously, one of the main concerns of the game is a lot of the SRs do not keep their value, at least in the Japanese version of the game. A lot of the cards are not worth much, and that's a main concern for the card games. They don't want an open Digimon for singles because there's not much value in there. A lot of cards will lose value. I think a lot of the stuff, I bought like 40 alt arts the other day for like less than 200 US. So it's the value is not good, and some of them used to be really expensive. Like the BT-14 Omnimon used to be worth a lot. I got it for like 20% of its original value now, so it's really bad. Obviously, it's not really meta relevant anymore, but it's still kind of an iconic card, so it's a bit of a problem. Let's kind of look at the value. So this is the newest set, the newest set that came out recently. So the secrets, they have value, but look at the Omnimon, something worth like 20 bucks now, which is not a lot. It was originally a bit more. The Duke one is still pretty good because it's still splashable in a lot of decks, and I think this card will be pretty good in the future as well. But looking at the SRs, besides the Alphamon and the Alphamon, they're all like $2. They're all $2. The SRs are all $2. That's not good. The alt arts, the Magnamon is still worth a lot, but yeah, these are all not really retaining value. So I guess actually this is a bad set to look at, because I want to look at a set that has a lot of really powerful boss monsters. I guess looking at the rune mode is not strong. Sorry, burst mode. The burst modes are not worth that much. The Alpha one is doing okay. This set has a lot of boss monsters. So the Duke one is worth okay. All right, this is a okay. The set is retaining value. That's pretty good. This set is retaining value, but they're all. I mean, all force is not worth much because you don't really need to ride at 4 anyway. The Wargreymon is retaining value. Okay, these are all retaining value. That is good. Let's have a look at BT-11. Okay, all forces okay. $5 is still not a lot of money though. Nothing besides Mide here is over 1,000 yen compared to BT-12, which yeah, BT-12 is a good value set. That's a pretty good value. And we have at least 4 cards that are worth over 1,000 yen, which is not amazing, but it's pretty good for Digimon. What I'm trying to get to at is boss monsters are easy to replace. Whenever there's a power creep or like other stuff, boss monsters will get replaced. They're probably the first cards to get replaced in the deck, because honestly your slots for boss monsters aren't that much. You have around 6 to maybe 8 slots for a boss monster. So whenever something more shiny and powerful comes out, your boss monsters will get replaced. That's kind of how the game was being built. However, if you're looking at the building for your ratios for the deck, your level 3s are pretty. If your level 3 is really good, it stays around for a very long time. Let's do a bit of a experiment and just have a look at the level, which set each of the cards from the levels are. So we have my Wargreymon deck here. This is the BT-12 variant of the deck. So let's have a look at the cards here and see which cards are actually still being played. Obviously we have, for the levels, yeah, still running BT-12 Agumon. Obviously the line came out and it's really strong, but I'm also running, okay. Alright. So the rookies I'm running 3 different kinds of rookies in this deck. One, I'm running the BT-12 Agumon, which obviously very strong card. I think, as I mentioned before in my other videos, I think this Agumon will be kept in your Agumon decks for a long time, unless they really come up with a stronger searcher. I'm playing also BT-9 Agumon. This is the X-Anybody one, which is pretty strong as well, but I think a lot of people aren't playing that anymore, so this is kind of an outlier for a lot of people. And I'm also playing the RB01, also known as the promo card. This is one of the first cards that came out in the game, and it's still being run in my deck. So that is one of the decks that's so one of the first cards that ever came out, still being played in my deck. That's pretty good. Let's have a look at what is this? Oh, this deck is kind of new. We also have, okay, I have my Melga deck. Melga. Okay, so I have the ST8 Gabumon. I have the BT-9 Gabumon. And I also have the BT-5 Gabumon. It's a searcher. Okay. those are kind of the main level 3s I'm running. I haven't updated my Melga deck in a while, but the deck hasn't really had much support. So ST8 Gabumon, why am I running that? Mainly just because the deck, I don't really want to crash, so I want to have my DP as high as possible. ST8 came out quite a while ago. Obviously, if there's something stronger, a stronger Gabumon that comes out, it's going to be easily replaced. And I think next set, BT-14, I think it's BT-14. There's going to be a new Gabumon. It's probably going to be a staple in Gabumon decks for a long time. Not sure if it's going to be a blue line or a red line. I think it might be a blue line, and then it'll work with the purple line. So let's also. Okay, I have my Magnemon deck. My Magnemon deck is sort of updated. It's BT-12, BT-13. Let's see. So we have the Vmon from BT-12. We have the Vmon from BT-8. From Vmon from Start Deck 8. Oh, we have a Vmon from BT-3. And I think that's it. Yeah. So I'm running 4 different kinds of level 3s in deck, and one of them are from BT-2. So yeah, let's have a look in comparison. The boss monsters kind of BT-9, and then BT-13, but that one's rare, so that doesn't really count, and also BT-8. Yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of decks, and I can think of a lot of decks off the top of my head with rookies that are from older sets. So I think moving forward, this is the right choice. Obviously, what's not good is if that rookie becomes really staple, it will become really expensive. Like if it's a super generic green card, for example, I think the Palmon is going to be pretty good because it's kind of a generic green card. So I think it should retain value. I think as long as more good purple decks come out, the Palmon will go up in value. Mainly because they're going to keep releasing new monsters, and they're probably going to have more than one boss monster that rests your opponent's Digimon. So, like off the top of my deck, off the top of my head, there's a bunch of decks that already rest your opponent's Digimon. Like Bloom Lord, you can rest your own, and then you can also rest your opponent's. Obviously, the Rosemon deck also does the same, and then I think the Terriermon deck also does the same, but you're probably not going to be playing Palmon in the Terriermon deck, but you probably can. Yeah, there's just a lot. Even if you're playing a Ceresmon deck, you can, if you Digizorp your opponent's Digimon, you can proc the Palmon. So I think, yeah, I think it's a good idea moving forward to having level 3s as the SRs. Just one, there's more slots in the deck for level 3s, and I think level 3s have more staying power. As we mentioned before, there's a lot of old set level 3s that stay in your deck. Well, you might remove your boss monster, but the level 3s, if it's good, it'll stay there. And if by bumping up to SR rarity, I think they can be more creative with level 3s and make them a little bit more strong, give more effects, just to justify it being an SR. And I think it will also spice up the game a bit more. If you have stronger cards, stronger lower level cards, it will be more creative for deck building, just because you won't have to rely on your boss monsters to win games. Right now, there's a lot of decks that just rely on going to your level 6 and then going for game. But having a look at the cards from just now, like the Angimon, you can probably use that to go for games as well. At least use it to disrupt your opponent a bit. And also with the introduction of Ace Digimon, it's going to add a little extra layer of interactivity between players. Overall, I'm really excited for the game. I think yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I'm just worried about how many players are actually gonna come back for BT-14. Right now, the new hype in Hong Kong, at least, is Union Arena. A lot of people are playing Union Arena just because they are getting a lot of sets every month. At least, right, they're at least getting one set every month, and they're kind of following a wise schedule of release. Just because, and it's smart because if you don't like that anime, you're not incentivized to play it, and it's fine. But there's going to be bound to be a new base of players or existing players who are interested in the anime who will support and buy that set, and that will keep like a circle of people playing that game. For Digimon, we had a 3-month long break from any new products, and definitely that obviously kills hype. But not only that, it also kind of lets people experiment with other games, and if they like that game more and are not interested in the new mechanics that Digimon is introducing, then obviously people are not going to be incentivized to come back. Hopefully, Ace lets more new people play the game, and when they hear, you know, oh, before I didn't play Digimon because there was no way to counter opponent, but now with counter, maybe I'll play the game. So hopefully that happens. I really hope so, because I really like this game, and I'm just a bit worried. Also, the way they introduce Mulligan is pretty good. One of the main other problems I had was the way they released the ban list is a little bit sporadic. I'm not sure if they just have one after every big tournament, but we had one in April, I think, for the Greymon. And then afterwards, we had another one, I think just last month. Yeah, it's let's see. So this is yeah, it was last month. It was April. So we had Blossomon restricted. I think that card has been too good for too long, so kind of makes sense. Itmon, I can see it. It makes the deck less sacky. Like it, you know, it's yeah. It turbos the deck. I don't know if, you know, it doesn't really kill the deck though. It makes it slower, which is fair because I think a lot of people were playing this deck just because it was so fast before. This one I'm not really sure about. Maybe they're gonna have a really busted Wergurumon. Either that, or it's their upcoming Wergurumon isn't gonna be as good as this one, and they want you to buy their new one, and so this one is getting hit to 1. I think that might be it. Because this card's effect is kind of like a SR tier card. This is one of the main win cons for Melga, I think, so it's pretty good. Grand Kuagamon, I don't really know why. It hasn't been doing much. It's strong, but it hasn't been doing much. And this one was from April. I think this card needed to be hit. It gives too much benefits for Greymon decks. One, there's too many Greymon decks in the meta, and this one just helps all of them. So it, you know, if you want to give other decks, if you want to, okay, there's a lot of tier whores in this game. Right? There's a lot of tier whores in a lot of card games. If you want to have the tier whores play the other decks, then I think giving this card a hit is the right choice. These ones, yeah, these ones are from a long time ago. I think Saber Huck should get. I think they should take Saber Huck off the list. Yeah, Icebon is still kind of too good. I think Icebon is still kind of too good, especially with the Ace mechanic. If you just plop down a level 4. If you have multiple of these on your hand and you crash your Icebon scatter mode, and then you ditch 2 or ditch 2 of these, have 2 on the board, your opponent can get rid of one of them, and then you can still use the other one for counter, unless they have a way to remove both. But I think it's pretty good. I think this card gets better over time, just because there's more mechanics introduced, and You can have more ways to abuse the extra body you have on the board. We're on a tangent now. But I think overall, I'm just going to do a wrap up of the video because I'm just going to be talking for a long time. I'm having too much fun talking about Digimon. I think it is, it is, I think Digimon is in a tight spot right now. I actually do think it's a tight spot. But that might also be because of my experience as a card gamer from Hong Kong. We don't... Card gamers in Hong Kong, whenever there's something new and shiny that comes out, a lot of people hop to that. And if they like that more than the previous game that they're playing, they will definitely, you know, ditch the old game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Used to be the biggest game here, and then it sort of died off just because I think there's still really dedicated player base. Like there's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players who just play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I have a lot of friends that are like that. So they will keep the market alive. But a lot of people who used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like me are off playing other card games like Vanguard, Battle Spirits, Bandai games. So that group of players are the people who are really jumpy. They like jumping across different card games. Whenever there's a new set, they'll probably play that, and then they'll play that until there is either a tournament or if there is another card game coming out with a new set, and then they'll jump for that as well. So our attention spans are pretty low, which is why I think, and I think it's similar to Japan, which is why I think the release schedule is like that, just to keep it competitive. One set a month. That's why we have cards so frequently, which is I think different from Western card game culture, where people are more loyal to the games. One, I think it's more expensive to play card games in the West, so people are less inclined to game hop. Though there are probably people who play more than one card game, but yeah, game hopping is, I think, less of a thing, mainly just because sets don't come out as often as well. Like Western games, their releases are a little bit more apart, so they have more time to let the meta grow and have more time to experiment with stuff. But yeah, Eastern, like Hong Kong, Asia, we are very jumpy. We're not huge fans of playing one card game only. If you guys see my channel already, you guys already know I play like 4 or 5 card games. A bit casually, but yeah. Newsflash for people who are still watching this video. I am going to play Vanguard again, just because there is, I built Tegria, and just because I want to play some Vanguard. A lot of my friends are asking me to play Vanguard again, and so I will be playing Vanguard. I'm not sure about making content though, just because I'm not super up to date with the meta, and I don't think my choices for the deck building are going to be super optimal, but I'll see. I think yeah, I hope this soft reboot will kind of give the game more life. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Anything else I want to say? No, I don't think so. If you guys want to learn more about, you know, card game culture in Asia and Hong Kong, then you can leave a comment down below. I would definitely like to share about that. And I think, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to go over if we do talk about that topic. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to support the channel, feel free to use the affiliate links down below. Maybe next time I'll do this live, just so I can answer questions and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This is Karataku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!